Hey, this is Daryl from Movie Bros.
Hey, Josh here from Movie Bros, and we're going to talk about Civil War today because I finally saw it.
So, initial reaction, what'd you think?
First off, it was a good movie. It was entertaining. The action was good. It was kind of brutal for a Marvel movie. First of all, I was not expecting some of that, and yeah, I don't know. You might want to do the PG-13 thing when it comes to kids with this movie. I took two 3-year-olds and a 6-year-old, and there was a couple times where I was like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah, I didn't have that same problem with mine. He liked it. But that's the Russo brothers. You know, the first Captain America, because this is a Captain America movie. The first one, I thought it was okay the first time I saw it. I haven't watched it probably
I
about
think
6 times. I ain't watched it in forever.
I think you're being a little lenient with okay with the
Yeah.
first one. I did not enjoy that movie. I thought it was well. If you're gonna say okay, it was okay as far as setting up the character, but as far as being a good movie, I don't think it succeeded there. It was very boring and very little of Captain America doing Captain America things,
I'll give you that.
except for like a 5-minute montage of action of him winning World War II.
I'll give you that. So then, fast forward, and you have The Winter Soldier, directed by the Russo brothers. Phenomenal movie. They gave us a more serious superhero movie because to date, besides the Marvel movies in the way back like Blade and stuff like that,
Hmm.
the newer Marvel movies have all just been filled with as many jokes they can cram in there, and don't show any blood. It's just like popcorn movie that you can absolutely take your kids to, and they enjoy it, and they're still good. But at a certain point, you got to say, all right, enough with the jokes. Always been my main complaint. So Winter Soldier comes, and it is one of my favorite Marvel movies ever made because they had a more serious approach to it. So they cut out most of the jokes, and it was just a down, gritty spy superhero thriller that I really enjoyed. By far, one of my favorite Marvel movies.
Definitely would agree with that statement. If I'm gonna have to pick my favorite, I guess I'm gonna go with Avengers first, just because of just bringing it all together, and it was such a cohesive movie. It was a great action movie. But Winter Soldier did what Avengers couldn't do, and it did what Captain America 1 couldn't do, and that was make Captain America cool. He was cool in that movie. He kicked people off boats. He threw shields into airplane engines and beat like 20 dudes in an elevator.
Yeah.
So, like, to make a character that's kind of bland that awesome was an amazing feat. And yeah, it was different from everything Marvel had been giving us. We got a more serious movie, like you said, a spy thriller, and it was a really nice change of pace.
No, I agree. Who's the director of the Avengers movies? Is that Kevin Feige or some shit?
The Avenger movie, oh, that was Josh Whedon.
That's right. Who the hell is Kevin Feige?
He's the president of the Marvel Studios.
Okay. So yeah.
And it's Feige.
So Josh Whedon had his hands on all the rest of them, making sure they were all on a specific path, and then the Russo brothers after that first Avengers movie, which we'll get into that later where it racks on my list, but Russo brothers came in and kind of like changed the pace a little bit, and I really liked it. So, a couple movies later, we had Guardians come out, Iron Man 3, Age of Ultron, Ant-Man. And then we get Civil War. Now, first, I was pretty excited about it. But, I was trying to avoid any and all trailers. I saw like the first teaser or the first full-length trailer, and I was like, all right, that's it, I'm done. I never saw SpiderMan in the trailer. No, wait, I did. I didn't see him fighting in the next one in the airport that they showed after that. I just saw the little clip at the end where it was like, hey guys, that's all.
I stopped watching trailers after that because I didn't want to have the same thing happen to me that happened with Batman v Superman. That movie, now let's just put it out there. We are both diehard, since we were children, Batman fans. Yeah. But the Marvel movies are good. Iron Man was great. And that movie had me more hyped for a movie than I've ever been.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Batman v Superman for 3 long years. Then the trailer comes out, little teaser first, and that was cool. But then they did a trailer that gave away just too much.
It was the
And
whole damn movie.
we held out hope, thinking, well, maybe there's more we ain't seen or it's out of context. But then when you watch the movie, you realize, well, that pretty much had a small beat from the trailer. It was in like every part of the movie. There was like a little beat from every part of the movie in that trailer. And so after seeing Spider-Man, I was like, well, I kind of figured he was going to be in there. Still would have been a nice surprise had I not known. But after that, no more trailers. And I was excited about it because when I did see Spider-Man, I thought he looked really awesome. And all the reviews and stuff was all pretty positive about the movies. So I was excited going into it. Didn't get to see it for 4 weeks. You saw it, opening weekend?
Yeah, on the Sunday, I believe. It was either that Sunday or Monday. But, no, I just want to go back to what you were saying. We're huge DC comic fans, but more so, we're huge comic book fans in general.
Right.
You know, our TV shows were Batman the Animated Series, X-Men, Spider-Man. You know, they didn't have a whole lot, but the superhero movies, TV shows we watched them all. Right. Now, I mean, we had Batman Returns, awesome. Batman Forever, I believe, is our first Batman theater experience, which was Batman and Robin totally ruined it. And so we got the Christopher Nolan Batmans with a Superman Returns movie sprinkled between. Like, DC is not, besides Batman, has not been that great with movies. Man of Steel, I love.
I also liked Man of Steel.
Okay.
I recognize that it did have problems, and I do agree with a lot of those problems, but overall I still enjoyed the movie. Since I'm not like 40 years old or 50 years old, I didn't grow up with Christopher Reeve Superman. He was not my Superman. My Superman was the animated series Superman.
Yeah.
And so I can't relate to the old version. It's just cheesy to me.
It's pretty boring if you go back and watch it now. I can't get into them.
But Man of Steel I thought it was a cool movie. It had great visual effects. Scenes were good. But, I mean, the only thing I guess I would still agree with was there seems to be there was a lot of people he probably could have saved, but didn't. And I know he was still getting used to everything, but how about when someone throws a gas truck at you, instead of dodging it and letting it hit a parking garage building behind you, you stop the truck? And little things like that, or instead of like throwing them through a building, maybe we could avoid the building. Like, you know, it is what it is. I think what that was I think Zack Snyder has a little bit of a fetish for destruction and seeing things crumble, kind of like a Michael Bay with explosions, but Zack Snyder with crumbling buildings.
Okay, well, to get back on subject, Civil War. What'd you think? Bitches, complaints, praises, what's up?
Well, like I said, I did enjoy the movie. I liked it quite a bit. I enjoyed the action felt really real in a way. Like when, say, Captain America fell off and hit half his body on the truck before hitting the ground. Or, I mean, like when that happened, it's like, oh, that hurt. Or, I mean, the hits and stuff, it seemed like it was like real.
Yeah.
And so much watching a cartoon. I really liked Black Panther. I thought he was cool. They didn't spend an hour or a movie setting up his backstory. It was just kind of like, here's Black Panther. So I really don't know his abilities or anything like that, but he could run fast, jump, and kick people. Speaking of also side characters, Falcon. Now, the Falcon's kind of lame.
I hated him. He was the worst part about Winter Soldier for me.
But Ant-Man had a little scene that made him kind of cool. And this had about 3 or 4 scenes that made him cool.
Yeah.
The way he flipped around, using his wings as a shield, jumps down, blasts 2 dudes off a building, and flies. I mean, that's just cool.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, Black Widow, always kind of a cool character in her side roles, but the fight scene between her and the guards in the opening of the movie, the Captain America part, was a really cool fight scene. I like the way she disarmed the guys and took advantage of not having powers, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man was awesome. It was everything everyone had been saying. Everyone was praising the Spider-Man. I really liked his Peter Parker. I liked his Spider-Man. His jokes were funny. They weren't cheesy. I literally laughed when he said things, and the way he was a boy instead of Tobey Maguire, who was like 30 years old, and Andrew Garfield, who was like 30 years old. This was a teenager.
Yeah.
A Spider-Man, And even when Robert Downey Jr. joked about that, when he said Spider-Boy, and he kind of said, no, I'm Spider-Man, he laughed. I thought that was funny, too, because it's a boy with superpowers fighting with these men.
Yeah.
Stopping a Winter Soldier punch, And he was just really cool. Also, Ant-Man. Seeing Ant-Man get big this time instead of small. And that scene with, him catching War Machine and throwing him. And Spider-Man being like, hey, you guys ever seen Empire Strikes Back? That old movie?
Yeah.
And spinning around his legs. That was a really cool. I don't think I've seen an action sequence like that in a superhero movie ever. Avengers was cool, but it was awesome. Don't get me wrong. But they would be like, here's Hulk and Thor doing something. Here's Captain America doing something. Here's Hawkeye doing something. This, it seemed to be way more incorporated, where almost everybody was in frame, it seemed like, at a time.
Yeah, I totally agree. That action sequence there blew my mind. It was awesome. Everything you said about the characters, I totally agree about, especially Spider-Man. That's by far my favorite Spider-Man already, and we barely even got to see him. He was awesome. And the jokes, this movie is not without jokes, but the difference is they work. You have characters that don't make jokes. It's more sarcasm. But then you got your characters that do make jokes, like Spider-Man, and it makes sense, and so it works.
Spider-Man and Ant-Man and Iron Man.
Yeah, it makes sense. Everybody else, it kind of gets annoying after a while. Like, everything Rhodey has to say is a damn pun. Why? As it gets annoying. He's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's like
Rhodey and Falcon, they try and push the comedy on a little too hard.
Yeah, it's like
things they said were funny to me. Kind of like Falcon and Ant-Man, when he's like, don't let Cap find out about this. It's like, laugh track.
Yeah. Oh man, but the Winter Soldier, we didn't talk about him. I thought he was awesome in this movie.
Got to see a little bit more about him too. I mean, I haven't read Marvel comics, so I wasn't that well knowledgeable about the character. All I knew was from what I had seen in the previous Captain America films.
Yeah.
And at first, when they were giving us the backstory at the very beginning, him coming out, I'm like, well, why do I need to see this? But then, they bring it back again full circle with that red book. And, at first I'm like, what's the big deal? And then I get it. He's, like, being reprogrammed. And I thought that was pretty cool. Funny note, my girlfriend, after we got out of the movie, she looks at me and was like, I don't really like Captain America anymore. I'm like, why? And she was like, well, because he stuck up for that Bucky guy, and he was an asshole, and that's not right. And I'm like, I was trying to explain to her that, he's reprogramming stuff, and she was like, I don't care. But she did thought him holding the helicopter was really sexy.
I mean,
his muscles were bulging out.
I didn't understand why he had to hold it. Why didn't he just jump on the helicopter with him?
Yeah.
But
then you wouldn't have that awesome scene.
It's not a perfect movie, but it's damn near perfect.
Yeah, it's damn near perfect. I also think this is the most adult, most brutal Marvel movie we've had yet, more so than Winter Soldier. There was a couple times where I was a little shocked. Not so much at the cuss words, they threw a couple of those in. I was kind of like, what? Am I watching a Marvel movie? But then, whenever towards the end of the movie, when they show the flashback of the Winter Soldier killing Tony's parents, that was a pretty hardcore scene. I mean, he punched the dude in the face like 5 times and then carries his unconscious body back into the car and then begins to strangle his mom. Now, I don't care if you think he was brainwashed or not. That's enough to piss you off, right? That's Batman's Martha scene. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's gonna piss him off. He's gonna want revenge right there. That blew my mind because I was like, what the fuck is this scene in the beginning with the car?
Right.
Gets that blue serum stuff. I was like, okay. But then at the end of the movie, he starts making that video. I'm like, oh my god, you've got to be kidding. Kind of like Iron Man's reaction. He's like, what is this? Another road? I was like, Oh no. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit.
That
And
was
like they had just like kind of worked it out a little bit. We got a truce, you know.
yeah.
Iron Man says to Winter Soldier, he's like, all right, Manchurian candidate, we got a truce right now.
Yeah.
And so, all right, let's talk about the bad guy for a minute here. I don't know his name, or I see. I was a little distracted with the kids were acting up a little bit. That's one thing. Also, I would say I don't know if I would bring a young child to this movie because there was a good amount of time in between the first action set piece and the next one where they really didn't do much of anything. Then there was an explosion, and then they just did a lot of talking. Fine for adults setting up stuff, finding out what's going on. Kids are gonna get bored. But the villain, I'm not sure what his motives were, except for just trying to get the Avengers to destroy themselves from the inside out. I'm guessing, but something had happened to him. His family had got killed. Something. I didn't really piece that together. Maybe you could help me with that.
Okay, so his name's Baron Zemo in the comics. He's the dude. You'll recognize him if you Google him. He's got the purple mask on. It's like
Really?
low, little details on his uniform, but he's got a whole. It's like a ski mask, but it's purple. Anyways, Baron Zemo, and then what happened is in Sokovia or whatever. That's where his family was. His wife, kids, and dad, I think. And he was explaining how he thought his family would be safe because they were outside of the city. And from Age of Ultron, whenever that shit happened, buildings fell and stuff like that. And he said it took him 2 weeks to find his family or whatever. So he was wanting to, destroy the Avengers, but he knows he's no match for him. He's just a man, so he decided that he would try to turn them against each other.
Did he have ties with Hydra?
No, I don't think so. No, whenever he first was talking to the first guy that was Hydra, he was explaining to him that Hydra is I don't know.
The guy had an upside down in the thing of water.
Yeah, I don't remember his exact words, but he was just saying, basically Hydra is like a disease too, and blah blah blah.
So he just had a personal vendetta.
Yeah.
It wasn't for a cause or an organization or nothing.
No, it was revenge.
Okay. I also want to talk briefly about the villain at the beginning of the movie. I'm not sure. He was Grayskull? Was that his name? He had the metal mask on with the white markings across it.
Oh, no, that was Crossbones, man. That's the dude
Crossbones.
Previous movie that got blown up.
Oh, he was in the last movie.
Yeah, he was in Winter Soldier. In the elevator, he was the main guy. And then whenever the helicarriers were going up in the air, he was in the computer room with the gun telling everybody to keep going.
Oh.
Yeah. And then whenever explosions happened and shit, like, he got burned and disfigured and stuff.
Okay. I liked him. I thought he was pretty cool. I liked the mechanisms he had on his arms. Those were the way they worked was pretty cool looking. And he seemed pretty formidable to Captain America.
Yeah, it sucks that they killed him. I understand why. That was pretty cool how, I liked that how whenever it blew up, she like caught the explosion, was like containing it, and it kind of showed him for a little bit. He was just kind of getting like melting and shit before she threw him up. That was
right.
Badass.
Oh, speaking of Scarlet Witch, we haven't talked anything about her. Her role in Age of Ultron was kind of lame, in my opinion. It was just kind of like...
Didn't like her at all in Age of Ultron.
But
not at all.
It showed her using her powers in a cool way. Throwing the cars out of the parking garage, that was cool. Holding the explosion and then throwing it up, that was just visually cool. And it made her not a boring character.
Yeah.
Oh, and... speaking of, let's say, we haven't talked about Vision at all yet. Now, whenever this movie was, when I was thinking about this movie, the one thing I was thinking was, whoever has Vision on their side has to win, right?
Yeah.
But he really didn't play that big of a part in this, very much at all. Like, especially, even in the big fight, he just kind of lasered, he like lasered that little circle, stopping him, but then Scarlet Witch like took him down or some shit. And, like he really he wasn't really that threatening. Basically, I thought he was gonna be like their Superman, you know.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in that last fight, why he wasn't more involved, but I mean, they showed in that previous scene with Scarlet Witch that she, she could take him out. So I guess
Put him through the ground.
Yeah, she could hold him there the whole time, like, okay, the rest of you fight or whatever. But I guess they wanted to show that so that they don't have to concentrate. Like, well, if he can take them all out, then she's going to have to be on him, and that's just going to be boring. That she's just going to be holding him in one place. So let's just have him take a more sideline approach, just do things every now and then. Because I don't feel like... Here's the other thing. I think with his personality and stuff like that, and his moral compass, or whatever you want to call it, I don't feel like he would want to just be fighting to fight. You know what I'm saying? He would want to do the least amount possible to reach his goal, which he was for the Accords, the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah.
Right? But, yeah, I like Scarlet Witch a lot better in this movie. She did some pretty cool stuff. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Something as simple as throwing Captain America up.
Yeah.
To the window. I was like,
oh. Him into that was cool.
And it was simple. He just threw a guy up. Okay.
Right.
But it's cool.
It's little things like that, though.
Yeah.
That make it...
You don't have to do all this crazy stuff where the world is crashing down on itself, or there's a giant monster shooting laser beams out of every orifice.
Right.
To do all that for a cool movie. It could just be contained in a little thing. Just show cool fights, choreographs, stuff like that. You don't need all that crazy shit.
Right.
But
yeah, it was contained. It wasn't this global disaster looming like the world's going to end if we don't solve this fight and work together. The world's going to... No, we didn't have anything like that.
Plus, I feel like once you get that big, you kind of lose a bit of story.
No, I do agree with that. There was a lot of... Their motives were clear. And, I mean, people are going to compare this to Batman v Superman no matter what, because they're movies where two main heroes are versing each other, okay? So, the comparisons are going to be made. Yeah. And with this movie compared to, say, Batman v Superman's, their motives weren't as clear. Or as understandable. This, it was like, you understood why Iron Man was doing what he was doing. You understood why Captain America was doing what he was doing. There was no clear, like, that's the right side, you know?
I got to tell you, I couldn't pick a side.
Going into it, I was Team Cap, because it was like anti-big government, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I liked where his stance was, but that wasn't to say that I couldn't understand where Iron Man was coming from.
Yeah, I mean, they really did a good job explaining both sides. And I flip-flopped, and I was like, I didn't know what to do, and I just felt like, and I felt like the directors wanted the viewer to be twisted and pulled too, you know.
Because it's not a black and white, it's a gray area. But if we're gonna say who wins in a fight, I think Captain America wins in a fight.
Negative.
He almost murdered him.
I don't know. I still think Iron Man could. By himself, 100% health, and armor.
Okay.
I think Iron Man...
I'll give you this. I mean, Captain America did have Winter Soldier almost take his chest out before he cut off his arm. Brutal.
One of his foot ulcer raised, whatever was gone. And...
his foot thing.
I think a hand thing, too.
But when it came down to hand-to-hand combat, Iron Man's new female Jarvis, I don't know her name, was like, you can't withstand this hand-to-hand combat. And he was like, analyze moves. And then he starts to have the upper hand for a minute there. But then Iron Man Captain America just beat the shit out of him. And knocked his mask loose and was getting ready to stab him with his shield.
No, he did. He didn't kill him.
Well, like, if he would have went up, he would have killed him. But he did it in his chest, immobilizing him.
You can tell that's what he was trying to do.
I know, but if he wanted to, if he was a bad guy, I think he would have won that fight.
I don't know, man.
It was brutal.
I don't think so. No, it was awesome.
You know, I was waiting for this fight because of the trailer.
Yeah.
You know, where showed that was in the first trailer. And so when they had got into that building, I'm like, oh, well, are they kind of working together now? What about that last fight? I remember from the trailer. And then, yeah, like we were saying, when that video showed, I'm like, oh, here we go.
My stomach dropped, like literally, because I was into the story, and that happened, and it's just like, fuck. Damn it. And you know what? This is a movie. I'd have to really think about it, but this might be one of the only superhero movies where they don't win. The bad guy won.
No, yeah, all right. So that was gonna be like kind of my only complaint. Now, this is a really minor complaint of an overall excellent movie. Is the ending was kind of unresolved. It was like they fight, Captain America leaves, writes him that letter. It was kind of like, sorry, bro, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and then the movie ends. There was no defeat the bad guy, save the day.
Well, here's the thing.
Nice change of pace, but then kind of like, huh? It's over?
Well, think about this. If you are viewing the villain as the protagonist, like the main character of the story, it is a good ending. There is closure because he succeeded in his plan, ripped him apart. His story ends.
He did
So
he did split him up successfully.
If you think about that, it went exactly where it was supposed to go with him winning, and then the whole Avengers kind of splitting in half and everybody going their own separate ways because of it. And not just because of Bucky killing Iron Man's parents, but because of the Sokovia Accords too. Because I can't remember where he said it, but it was like he was highlighting all those things, or he was pushing for the Accords. He had something to do with the Accords too, I think. So you got Hawkman. Hawkeye.
Yeah, he's unrememberable. He's not memorable. It's alright.
Yeah, he's my least favorite. You got him retiring, Wanda going this way, Ant-Man going that way, Captain America taking Bucky over here to Wakanda with the Black Panther, Iron Man going another way, and Rhodey's crippled. He's trying to get his life together. Like, they're dismantled. And then if you think about it, reaching ahead, you got Thor Ragnarok, which his home planet is screwed. So he's not going to be back for a while. Besides Infinity Wars, I'm sure. No telling where Hulk is.
Right. Well, they did say, I don't remember exactly what they said, but they said something about Thor and Banner in this movie, where Banner was.
No, they didn't say it. He was like, it was whenever they were talking to the Secretary of State at first, and he was like, Thor, Banner, do you know where they're at? And it's like, I think there was a sign that says, like, yeah, if I lost a weapon of mass destruction on my watch, there would be serious implications.
Right.
So, they don't know where they're at.
Can I just say, also, having General Ross back from The Incredible Hulk was pretty cool. He's a good actor. William Hurt's a good actor, and a fantastic job. One little scene we didn't talk about that I just thought was just cool enough you gotta say something about Ant-Man going into the Iron Man suit and messing some stuff up. Iron Man's like, what's going on? And he's like, don't mind me. And then the fire suppression system forcing him out. It was funny, it was cool, it worked. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I thought that was pretty badass. I like Friday too. I think she's pretty awesome.
But, Friday?
Yeah, that instead of Jarvis, now it's Friday.
Oh, okay. I didn't know her name.
Yeah, he says it like 5,000 times.
Learn something new every day.
So, I don't have a single complaint about characters, besides I think it would have been cooler if Baron Zemo actually had his uniform on. I'm getting tired of people making superhero movies and not give them their damn signature costumes. Like, it makes no sense. But love the storyline, love the tone. Thought it was perfect amount of comedy. I put this one up right next to Avengers. If not, it goes like this. I can't decide. I love this.
Agree. I also agree overall. Same thing. Avengers, Civil War. I can't really decide. And I don't know. I think also Winter Soldier right there too. Winter Soldier, Civil War, Avengers. I can't
Guardians.
decide.
And
All three. Those are
Guardians.
my top three for sure.
Guardians is up there too.
Guardians, yeah. Uh, Good movie. I did enjoy Civil War more, but overall, yeah, great movie, great action, great acting. Didn't try and be too cheesy. Jokes, most of the jokes landed. I'd say almost all landed,
Yeah.
and it puts the Marvel Cinematic Universe in kind of a weird place, where it's going to go from here with the Avengers split in half the way they are, and I think that's interesting, and I want to see where that develops and where that goes. And I mean, if this Winter Soldier was this good, Civil War was this good, that can only raise my expectations for Avengers that much higher.
Yeah, I hope. I heard the Russo brothers were taking it over from the last guy. I keep forgetting this.
Joss Whedon.
Yeah, from him. Which I could be a good choice, especially since they're about ready to get in some serious shit. Okay, so verdict time. I'm gonna do it on a scale of 1 to 5. I'm doing a 5 out of 5. This was one of my favorite films I've seen out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Marvel movies. Any superhero movie, really. One of my favorites.
I don't disagree. I'm also going to give it a 5 out of 5 stars. If you haven't seen it in theaters, you must go and see it in theaters. Find out a place that's still showing it. I know it's 4 weeks, but find it. If you haven't seen it, go see it. When it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm buying it for my Blu-ray collection. I can't wait to watch it on Blu-ray.
Definitely.
Must have.
Right by. Yeah. That's definitely... Man, I'm going to need to start a second shelf for all these damn Marvel movies. My DC is like half of what Marvel's movie, because I'm not buying Steel, let's be honest.
They're just pumping them out, man. They're pumping them out. Well, do you own Jonah Hex?
Yeah. I didn't think it was that bad.
Right?
I got Green Lantern, too.
Oh, man.
Alright, well, that's our Civil War reaction review standpoint. Like, we went over a lot of stuff today.
Also, if you liked this video, like, subscribe, comment below. If you want to hear us talk about anything else, our opinions on anything, comment what that might be, and maybe we'll put up a video about that. Check out our other videos. I have some unboxings on there. We also have, I did a little Transformers edit to get, like, all the bullshit and Shia LaBeouf out of there. Kind of a passion project. I had fun with it. And it whittles the movies down to about 17, 18 minutes, making them a little bit worth watching. So, something to check out.
Yeah, they are. Alright, well, I'm Daryl from Movie Bros.
Josh.
Alright, see you later.
Bye-bye.